We're back. It's the Arbitrage Run Show with Donkey Teeth and Kevin from Arbitrage Racing. What's up, Kevin?
How's it going, man? Let's see if we remember how to do this. It's been a minute. A lot of
We
things have happened.
yeah, we don't remember. I'm sure this is going to be a very rusty show, but our audience, I'm sure, will be very kind and gentle with us.
I'm sure they always are. They're very reasonable. You have a different background, right? Is that a real background for once?
This is real. Yes, this is my real living room here.
Wow.
Fireplace. Maybe I'll start a
You're gonna get
fireside
doxxed
chat
if you
about Zed X here.
don't. There you go.
So let me see. Jake didn't respond. We invited Jake. He said maybe Jake Iceberg Jake to join us. He said maybe he'd be able to if the kid he had something about picking up the kids or something. I know it's early there in Australia, so
Mhm.
he may pop on at some point. But we'll do our best to try to keep up with the chat and engage with you guys. It's not always our strong suit. It's kind of like our horse naming. But we got Solari Stables out there, Kevin. We got Jonan, DB
Mhm.
Horses, Mango Ice, Shell Dakar, Sniff Racing, Necta One. A lot of familiar faces. So it is good to be back with you guys. I don't know when we recorded the last one, Kevin, but I'm pretty sure it's before you had the baby, right?
Gotta be, yeah, for sure. So that was at least 4 months ago, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably been close to 6 months. So yeah, it's good to be back, but this is probably going to be our last one for a while, right?
I would think so. I know you're having some trips planned, I guess, over the next 6 7 months. We'll see what stands after that, but who knows at this point? You can't even try to speculate. But yeah,
Sure.
I'd say
Yeah,
first and last for a while.
yeah. So people think the big news on this show is about Zed X and your baby, but actually, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the country for 6 months. I'm going to be in Nepal, off the grid. So this is going to be at the end of August. So that's why I said it's probably going to be our last one for a while, unless you pick up a new co-host, which honestly you're more than welcome to. I'm leaving for 6 months, so life has to go on. If you find somebody else that's stupid enough to do the show, you're more than welcome to. But maybe there will be reason to. Who know? Who knows? There's a
Yeah,
chance.
who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, we had like 25 people pop in here right when we went live. So shout out to all you guys. Um, Gluttons for punishment. I know, just like all of us. But I know Donkey tweeted out the timestamp 7:30 going live, and you guys were in here right when we went live. So appreciate that.
And I was looking when the new director of product did that AMA earlier this week, which we've got some stuff from there to obviously discuss and try to digest and parse through together here on this show. We're also going to give away 6 horses that we just bred, 4.0s from Pretty Good Blood for this upcoming $40,000 maiden. But what the heck was I going to say? I don't even remember where I was going with this. Do you remember where I started with this sentence?
No, you were hypnotizing me. But yeah,
Thank you.
six horses. They do still have some value, believe it or not. I mean, 40K maiden's not anything to scoff at, and we've never really operated outside of like a 3 month long time frame. So it sounds like they're saying at least all the right things around the longevity of this game lasting up until the launch of Zed X. And if we know anything about Zed, things tend to take longer than originally estimated. So as long as they keep that into the bargain, you would think there's some utility for the current horses for 6 to 9 months, I would guess.
I remember where I started that sentence. I was going to say that when Nick did that AMA, there was like 200 people listened to it like instantly. I saw you and I
Mhm.
didn't get to it until a couple days later. But yeah, and I think there was like 2,000 listens. So there's still people interested. I don't know if they're actually interested or just want to see Zed fail. I think a lot of it's probably more the latter. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Nepal is geo blocked, McGinnis. I am going to be totally off the grid. I'm not going to have any internet, no phone, no people. I'm going to be in silence for 6 months meditating. So um,
Crazy.
it's going to be intense.
You were
I'll
stronger than
be.
I to do that. I would never ever be able to do that.
I'll check back in after I'm back next March or whatever it is. Hopefully Zed still exists at that point. Maybe ZX will be launched. I know Kevin's over under on the ZX like official launch, like out of their closed beta is July 1st, 2025. I think you said, right, Kevin?
Yeah, halfway through the year is my guess. I mean, that's a line where I'm sure they would give an estimate before that, but Yeah, full launch Zed X, I would say over under July 1st, knowing there's pretty heavy action always going on the over.
Yeah, that's one of those things where Vegas is like skewing the line, knowing everyone is just going to
Right.
take the automatic over,
I'm
right?
just trying to get even money on both sides.
So Near did say on that first AMA that they should have this closed beta launched before the end of the year or by the end of the year. So, that's kind of when people were looking for our take, or probably more accurately, your take on these things, Kevin. I mean, your immediate reaction was, honestly, this is kind of relatively good news because our horses have value for another, like, probably 9 to 12 months, theoretically, right? And we've always been operating like waiting for the rug to be pulled because this is it, right? And so
I
we
mean,
operate on a 3 month timeline typically, right?
yeah, nobody clipped that exactly. There's context to be added to that. I think the awful news, obviously, is that you're not really getting anything for your good horses now. They're completely just washed away. That's, I think, bad news for anybody who has any
The
good
speculation
racers or
upside is just gone, which, our dream of what we hoped Zed, the original Zed legacy, right, would be is kind of
Mhm.
gone, right? So yes, that is the
Yeah.
unfortunate part.
So at least like we haven't had this kind of runway, at least with the current game, in quite a while. It's just been almost month to month schedules. Like, hey, I hope we're have tournaments the next month. So it's been really hard to value anything. Well, that's Ready Set Doom is appropriate
Let's
trademark.
write that name down.
Quick,
Write
quick,
that
quick,
down.
quick. We got a few we're gonna do in them. But yes, I mean the current state of like breeding a horse and running a horse, I don't think those valuations have changed at all compared to like since 4.0 dropped. I don't think anybody was valuing outside of a couple months runway there. So at least we have guaranteed prizes for the next 6 months or so. That's the positive, I would say. The negative is, yeah, it doesn't sound like they're doing much for current owners. We also obviously all bought these assets anticipating them to live as long as the game lived and not ever see a Zed where these horses were not a part of it. So that's the obvious bad news, and there's no way to spin that. That sucks.
Sure. I mean, of course, everything you're saying is true, right? And it's not necessarily good news that our legacy horses can't transfer over to the new game, but it's the writing's kind of been on the wall for a while, right? Like there was still the pipe dream, right? That they could steer this,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it, 5% chance, 1% chance that they steer this through to the other side of the tunnel. But I think you said several times that re-rolling at least was probably the one of the easier solutions, and totally wiping the slate clean, I guess, probably does make sense from a business perspective. I think my first take when they first did the AMA and announced that was just, I really wish that they had approached it with more understanding of where the community was going to be, right? Because it was like,
Mm-hmm.
it just seemed like they were surprised that like people weren't happy that there's no rewards for our horses, right? Like these things that you
That was
sold for
nuts. Yeah.
$30,000 to some people, right? I know I bought a couple at that price. I don't think you did, but well, I mean, we did. We bought Creation of Mortals for,
The
gosh,
top.
what
The
I
top.
don't know. I mean, I think ETH was down at the time, but it had to be close to what, 70, 80,000 US dollars, right?
Mm-hmm. And we were always like flipping. Like we pretty much just would sell something and buy something. There was not much taking out of funds around what we bought and sold and flipped. I think all our taking out was more around what we earned on the track. So it's kind of we bought and sold into all markets that's ever had. But yeah, we, we have some
Arbitrage, well, literal
on paper
arbitrage
some
going on.
tough purchases. Yeah, some tax
Yeah.
write-offs as they say. Um,
Yeah, it didn't work out. But everything, yeah, everything was always kind of risk reward, calculated risk, and like you
but yeah,
said, we sold
back
something,
to
and that was
what you're saying with the first AMA. The I think it was Nakamoto's only was the first Q&A, and that was like nothing funny about that, right? Like, I mean, it's very real money. We all put a ton into this, but the comedic timing of that being the first one, and they had like
the first question. Yeah.
the very first question that was asked, and like they had done so little to tailor to those types, um, was at least like I think a wake up call for the AMA.
Oh, there was a wager open from from one of our last maidens still here on Streamlabs. Okay, I'm canceling that. Cancel betting. Yes, it was ironic. It was perfect, really. It was.
It was.
Because I mean, like, there's no way to get around that. That was exactly the question that needed to be asked, and point blank, there are some people. I mean, you look at like Southern Farm and Jake Iceberg, right? The real believers in Zed that just kept buying, right? They've invested just an insane amount of money. I mean, we have too, right? But of course, we've done really well racing and selling breeds and stuff. Not that they haven't also, but I mean, you didn't really invest much in this game to start, right? I invested some. Our partners invested more, but yeah, these guys started their own operations and bought a lot of horses near the top and just kept buying. And now you're just gonna say, oh, those horses don't exist anymore. And hopefully we find out here at the end of the month, July 31st, what the rewards are, and they make sense. But really, there's no way to make everybody happy with these rewards. And one of the big pieces from Nick's AMA was that there's 4,320 horses is the number of racing horses that are going to exist in Zed X. So do the math, right? Like, what's the most horses that the person at the top of the leaderboard is going to get from this? I don't know how many breeding horses there are going to be to start, right? What do you think? Like, what's the number one spot that everyone's going to be aiming for, going to get rewarded? Like 100 horses, maybe?
No, I would take the under on that. I don't know. I think they're going to kind of tier it off where I don't know if there's going to be like one, whatever, top scorer who gets the jackpot. I think it's going to be more like top 50 get 10 each or something like that. There's going to be tiered off from that. But I'm prepared to be underwhelmed with what engagement / like, I'm definitely going to be underwhelmed with what assets like ownership rewards are. But it sounds like maybe we're going to get at least some of that, whereas the initial plan would have been much more mild on that front. The engagement side, I think, will probably be more weighted since it seems like that's the direction they're going. I think if it's more than like 50 horses, I'd be shocked in the new game for top. I bet it's going to be like 10 for the most engaged.
In which case, we need like 100 different wallets, right?
That's true.
It's going to be better to be the last place, the last 10, than it is going to be number one, probably.
And it's all horse based, right? Or at least a lot of it. So you just need to do that, right?
What do you mean?
Snapshot. Like is the asset ownership piece the horse based one, or is it the engagement ties to the horse as well?
Engagement ties to the wallet, I think.
Okay.
So like how much your wallet has spent on breeding, essentially, over
like
since
paid
starting,
racing.
and then
paid
same
racing
for paid
go to the
racing.
horse or wallet.
I think the aspect that goes to the horse, I think, is just the level. That's my understanding. That would definitely be a good clarification question.
The level and breed type, right?
Yeah, well, breed type's not going to change, right? So the engagement aspect that follows the horse, I think, is just going to be the level. So it's unfortunate that, I mean, like, what can you do with only 4,000 horses, right? But it's unfortunate that that there's not like a profitability metric. I guess the profitability metric, you benefit during the next 6 months, and hopefully they're able to incentivize enough racing where people can get some more money out of the game, right, with their quality racehorses in the next 6-12 months, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and I don't think, like, I mean, a lot of that's been fine. Like, I think a 4.0 bred right now, the valuation's there. You can make what you expect from that. I still think the place they need to best compensate are the ones who got rugged the most with those mint drops. Like, quite frankly, like, Nakamoto's got totally rugged. And now they're like the least valuable assets of the breed types, which is crazy. It's like that's where the compensation needs to swing in that direction, not the engagement, because people doing paid races right now, especially if you use profitability as a metric, I don't think that's correct at all, because those are the ones benefiting in the current state.
It's tough, right? Because you do want to incentivize people to continue to play the game, right? So that I guess has to be an aspect of it, right? How much you pay on paid racing and breeding.
Yeah,
we'll see.
They said frees are not in there, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, open to ideas from chat as well. Like, we don't really know anything.
Yeah, we didn't really put a whole lot of thoughts together for this this show. It's more jump on, stream of consciousness, give away some horses, interact with you guys. We are still playing Zed. We've bred a lot of horses for this maiden. I think from, again, our point of view, we've always been short-term players of this game. Well, actually, I guess I should say you've always been a short-term player. I definitely was in Zed as a speculative investor to start, and then you just like rubbed off on me over the past 2 years to the point where it just became, okay, yeah, we're operating on this. Is, of course, you operate on a 3-month time frame in Zed, because why would you do anything else? Because they continuously change things, rug things. Like this is the beast that we're dealing with, and the writing was kind of on the wall here. We all hoped that it could end a different way, but unfortunately, this is the direction that we've been headed for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. And it sounds like, I mean, they're juicing up. I know they mentioned they're going to use some of the treasury for the future months. So it sounds like there's going to be at least a stable floor in terms of what maidens will be. I would guess this one goes over 40K organically, and hopefully that number ends up higher than 40K. But if it doesn't, like that's a guaranteed prize pool. So it's less competition if the actual amount that went in is only like 25K. So it's nice that at least they're, I say nice, but it should be the case where they are profit sharing the reserve that came from this game and not just taking it all to the new one. Because that'd be another level of tilt as well.
Solari Stable said, from what he understands, your ownership of a horse is the proof they're using as purchase, not how many horses you've bred. But I think there's an engagement metric based on what he said that's essentially just how much you spent in breeding from June 26th until they take the final snapshot, when I assume probably when they actually launched the real Zed X game, would be my guess. But then, yes, also you're also going to get, I think the way that I understand it, 2 pillars, right? Engagement, which is just going to be how much you've spent in entry fees and paid racing, and how much you spent in breeding fees. And that's going to be attached to your wallet. And then I think the second pillar is going to be, okay, here's all of the horses you have in that wallet at the time of the last snapshot, which is probably before Zed X launches. And what's going to determine the value of each of one of those horses is simply going to be breed type, bloodline, level, and coat color. Which, I mean, complain about coat color, but they've never done anything to value them, and they sold those for more than drop. So I suppose it's fair, right?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a thing, or it's supposed to be a thing. So Lucky Jack's probably jumping up and down for that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very happy.
Do we want to do this first giveaway? And we got what, 6 horses to give away?
Yeah, let's finish it. So no, there's only ever one giveaway going on. I know I saw Jonan ask that, but yes, there's one giveaway going on. So don't be confused.
And then we'll answer this juicier question from Lamb around if we're sticking around for Zed X and other games.
Okay, let me finish this giveaway. And then I've got some bullet points from that AMA. I mean, I really did think the AMA was interesting. I thought, Nick kind of, I don't know if anybody else has ever like tried to jump on a microphone and just talk by yourself for an hour, but it's not very comfortable feeling.
He was on an island. Like, it was supposed to be back and forth with Caroline, and it just like, I think she had tech difficulties, so he was just going a cappella there for a bit.
Blockchain Guardian is our winner of our first raffle.
Blockchain.
Let me put that back up there, and then you can put the question up there.
Yep.
Okay, let me start the next one. So I'm not even, we bred 6 of them. I want to say 3 of them have F. Larry as the stud sire. 2 of them have Raspberry for Days, which is actually pretty darn good 4.0 that we bred. And then one of them was from Deserves to be Published, which is another good 4.0. So they're all elites. They're all elites. Yeah, they're probably all landing class 3, I would imagine, unless one gets lucky into class 2. So go ahead and put that question back up, Kevin. I'll start up this second. You know what? So I set this up for some of them as subscribers, because we've had people paying to subscribe for like the past 6 months. I hope that they're just on their like Amazon Prime and not actually paying us to subscribe. I don't know if there's like a way for me to refund that stuff or not, Kevin, but I got 3 subscribers.
If you've been paying real money or when we've been dormant, reach out. We'll hook you up with a breed. All right, we'll do that.
Oh, we should mention right now too, at some point during this stream, and don't let us forget, we're going to put diamonds in at minimum. So if you want to breed with diamonds at minimum, it's $40.
$40. It is decayed. We'll preface with that. You'll be a class lower than normal. I don't think it impacts anything else.
We don't
So
mind it. Yeah, the decay.
take
Well,
them if you
and I
want.
mean, even Festus, we've been breeding decayed, and still the elite foals decayed land at the bottom of class 3, right? So it's not. I don't even know if it might be a good thing because pie theory, right? There might be more room for a variance with these decayed breeds.
Yeah, I mean, we have one that'll be running in this upcoming maiden who is quite good. Some are calling it the best marathoner we've ever bred. So
People are talking. Yes, was it Ice Festus? Ice something, right? Ice
Ice Fest,
Fest.
right? Yeah.
Ice Fest. Yeah. Okay, so what I was saying, yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're up there on the microphone. I thought that he came across pretty articulate. I was relatively impressed. I said that to you. I don't know what the new game's going to look like. Obviously, it's very dependent on what they're calling spectators, but it's people betting on sports bet and potentially any other partners that they're able to get in the wagering realm, and then taking that external money, bringing it into the game. We've always known that it can't just be a zero sum game where we're just passing money around between each other, right? Then you got somebody really good at the game taking all the money, everybody else gets pissed off at them. And where does it go from there, right? So having that external funding coming in, so it's advantageous for us to play, advantageous for us to bring people in to wager on it, right? So I don't know. You want to give your thoughts here on Lamb Racing's question, and then give your thoughts on everything, and then I'll just jump in and kind of respond and fill in the blanks.
Yeah, let's maybe do this while it's the first half of the show. So let's plan on maybe 8:20. Let's do a Griffin, like a 6-gate Griffin for all this, and that can be the winner of that can get the 6th giveaway. You want to do that? And then before that point, we can do a diamonds breed, and see if people want to take it and potentially enter their horse into that.
Okay.
So we'll have 5 giveaways in chat here, and then 1 giveaway to we'll just all try to join the same 6-gate maiden.
Maybe we'll do a 7th. Maybe we'll do a 7th giveaway because I think I have the 6th one set up for a subscriber. So maybe we'll breed another one.
They're all worthless in 6 months, anyways.
Yeah. That's when I brought up doing a show. This is probably like 2 weeks ago. We've been talking about doing. I was traveling. I was actually down at Kevin's house. We played around a golf. I met his baby. It was very nice. Very nice house that you have there, Kevin, and family. Wife is very kind, good-looking baby. But
nice lady.
We've been talking about doing this show for a while, and you're like, well, should we give away some worthless horses? And of course, we're going to give away some future worthless horses. We're not going to give any away that are fully worthless right now, though. These horses have value because you can race them in this $40,000 maiden, which Kevin thinks might be worth more than $40,000. So, okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, so answer this question from Lamb. Will you guys be playing Zed X? And if not, will you pivot to another game as your main game in Web3, or are you sick of Web3? Maybe a little bit of all of the above. So Zed X, I don't know enough information right now to make that decision. I cannot picture myself putting substantial amount of money in that type of game. I mean, call it Zed fatigue or burnout or heartburn from kind of getting shafted with the current assets. We'll see. I mean, if it seems like a fun game and they're compensating existing owners, like, I would be tempted to play, I think, but way too many unknowns right now. It's absolutely not a given I'm going to be playing that game, especially having a baby now. It's a little tighter on time. And then another game. So, I mean, most people know, I think we've been very involved kind of under a different shell on photo finish since they were PFPs, legit probably 2.5 years ago. So when we got in on that, we've been having Stens, so shout out Stens, one of the OGs in Zed, run our stable over there under Absolute Horsepower, more as a passive investor because there's just only so much time. But yeah, we have plenty of photo finish exposure as well, which always cracks me up when we get like subtweeted by like, hey, use my referral code for photo finish. Like, all right, that's fine. We're in there too. So that one is fun. I do some Philly racing over there to help Stens out, just because I think that stable has maybe passed the amount of horses we have in our stable here. It's like 1,200, 1,300, something crazy. But it's fun. It's a good kind of slower escape to the grind of Zed. So probably keep going in that, although it may have its same issues long-term as this, who knows.
It's already run into a lot of them, just a little bit better leadership from the start.
They had a much better plan long-term. Like, they were able to kind of learn from what Zed was doing. There were some like kind of foolish foresight mistakes that Zed made just because they did not expect it to blow up like it did. Whereas this was coming from a very seasoned team who knew all the pitfalls and had done it a time or two before, so was able to plan for it. But yeah, it's definitely out of the honeymoon phase as well, and more in the like maintain, wait for catalyst type phase. So I'm sure they're cooking up things over there. So we're involved. Nothing else is on our radar at this point. I can speak for myself at least. Aside from that, non-Web3, pumped for college football game coming out next week. That will be the first like video game I've played outside of Web3 seriously in quite a while. So pumped for that as a college football fan. It's been 11 years, so little plug on that for EA Sports.
And don't forget our Rainmakers portfolio. That's technically Web3, I suppose. DraftKings NFTs. We
Yep.
love the NFL.
And I will say, like,
Rainmakers.
Rainmaker's a lot of fun. I think if Zed like stopped tomorrow, right? If they just stopped, like DNA would be interesting. I think they have a lot of the elements of OG Zed, where I mean, I think Dan would even admit like he took what was good about Zed and what the original plan was, and what people liked about it, and transformed it into his own game. And a lot of what he's built on that game and how quickly he's been able to do things really, I think, exposed how incompetent Zed was on a lot of their engineering. So I would give that a look as well. I don't want Dan coming at me with pitchforks either. He would never do that. He's very reasonable too. But that would be interesting, just because it would remind me a lot of the old Zed. But the thought of me putting substantial amount of more money into a different game is just like, and like starting from scratch, it is just tough, right?
Yeah, well, and of course, Lamb Racing said he might. I think he's talking about Photo Finish because that came before you were talking about DNA. But I mean, we never give out financial advice. We never have on this show. Just give our opinions and takes. But I mean, my take is Photo Finish is it's in a downward spiral. We've like having seen the full cycle in Zed. Of course, yes, different leadership and a better thought out plan, but it's not in a good spot, which maybe it's a good time to buy, but we thought that so many times in Zed too, right? So like they need a catalyst, they need external money. Yeah. Maybe they've got a better plan. I hope so, but shoot, I wouldn't turn to any of my friends and be like, hey, now is the time to get into Photo Finish or Zed or anything Web3. You know, it's like,
it's population control is always just so difficult once you flatline on users. So it becomes like, how do you get overlay in the form of gambling or get a mobile app? And they're working on that at Photo Finish to really make it more, I don't know, palatable for the casual user. So it's just tough waiting on those catalysts to just grow user base, get more money flowing into the ecosystem effectively. But it is a fun game. It is well thought out. Graphics are great. Seems like they have connections with the right people in the space. And I don't know, Ian always teases like he has something big up his sleeve. So we'll see what comes out of that. But it genuinely is a fun game.
To answer Zed X to the moon, we got 3 giveaways for everyone. Well, actually, probably 4 giveaways now for everyone, and then 3 for our subscribers, because we got a bunch of people that have been subscribing for like the past 6 months. We haven't been doing any shows, so got to reward those people. But
one last thing on DNA.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is exactly my read on it. Good call, Copper Penny. Where
I hit that. Here we go. Oh no, you did it again. There we go.
Yeah, it feels more like those like old school Discord days in Zed, where you would have like a bunch of degens in there wanting to just have some fun, like on a Friday night, throw some money around, make it somewhat skill based, somewhat random, but like that was the core like sentiment and love of Zed and horse racing in a lot of ways, is like that kind of community before people got their pitchforks out. So it does feel like a pure core that I think I loved about the original Zed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the key. Like, if you're playing something and having fun, that needs to be number one. If you're jumping into anything expecting to get rich or even to make money, you're probably coming at it from a little bit of the wrong angle. I mean, I think we always had fun with Zed, even with all of the frustrations and stuff, right? Like, we would have quit Zed a long time ago if we weren't having fun the whole way. Of course, making money is fun, right? So that's part of it. But we've enjoyed the game. There's for me been significant times of like fatigue and grind. I'm not sure you even have that in your personality, but the fun aspect has to be like where you start, right?
Absolutely. And that's part of the reason I think Web3 struggles so much is just inherently, right? It's only crypto. And like most people in crypto are in crypto to make money or like at some core, right? So as soon as you have that attached to it, you start putting actual money into it, it hits a little different than a like mobile app where I'm just, I don't know, paying $5 to get a battle pass or something like that. So I think the more they can broaden the scope of the user base, the better from that aspect.
So Kevin, I'm looking at our second giveaway and there's only 2 subscribers. So maybe we just give each of them one of the subscriber horses and then we open
Okay.
up the other 4.
I like it.
Sound good? So
Maybe
Solare
mention
and
like,
Gigi's.
are there any other subscribers who need to click raffle? Give them like 30 seconds, and then
I've
we'll do
seen
that.
a lot of people clicking raffle and they're not getting entered because they're not subscribers, which is fine. We don't expect anybody to subscribe. We actually don't want you to subscribe right now because this is probably our last show for a long time.
Mhm.
So we're going to give away the rest of the horses. Oh, Tasty Poison Fish jumped in there. And so did Leaf. Okay, we have a few subscribers.
There you go.
So do we still do 3 of them for subscribers, Kevin?
Let's just give all 4 of them a horse, right? It doesn't have to be these
Okay.
giveaway horses. Don't want to take away from the broader audience.
Okay, let me
So I think we're
screenshot
planning on doing
before.
3.
Okay. We'll pick a winner just for shits and giggles and make sure they get a very good. What? Oh, Captain Ego just subscribed. Okay, we got Major Pivot. I think Major Pivot was always a subscriber. Okay, we're up to 6, Kevin. I think we just got to do the subscriber raffles, right?
All right, but still, the same goes. If you've been paying with cash, not an Amazon Prime sub over the last months, we haven't done. Reach out and we'll
Hit us
hook
up
you
on
with a horse.
Twitter or Discord or wherever. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna close the entries though. Close and pick a winner. Captain Ego. I think he's a new subscriber. I'm not familiar unless you changed your name. But
Good
congrats.
investment there.
Yeah. Okay, let's open up
investment advice.
the next giveaway for everyone. Okay.
And then let's do the. You want to do the diamonds breed? Maybe say in like 2 minutes. Diamonds is going to go in at minimum. Decade
Sure.
1, so he will be coming out of class lower than expected. We'll wait until call it 8:30 or so, and if there's any left, we'll take some internally. But might as well let the community get a few. Not that great of a breeder, shockingly. So disclaimer: Decade and not that great of a breeder, but there's been a couple.
It's gotta be in there. I've been shocked with how poorly he's bred, but he's bred a couple like really good maiden horses, right? The thing is, you have a really good maiden horse, it's going to be pretty good for less than 100 at least, right? And then it's bench it, right? Unless it's very good. So this side down is over on YouTube. He's the only one over on YouTube. I just put this on YouTube so people knew that it was going. But if you want to participate in the giveaways, you do have to go over to Twitch because that's how the Streamlab like giveaway thing is set up. So this side down, head over to Twitch to partake in the giveaways. We'll leave this one open for probably like 10 minutes or so. So yes, diamonds will go in 2 minutes.
You want me to do that?
I can go ahead. If anybody has any questions for us, we can try to answer them about Zed X. I mean, we have as much information as you. I did take some notes from that AMA, just trying to digest what the heck he was saying, because he did throw a lot of information out there, I thought, in an hour. So I have put some thought into it. I think I've got my head wrapped around like what they're trying to design. And then if you have any questions on the rewards, it seems like we're getting screwed. But I also I don't see any way for them to move forward in this direction, which is probably the right business direction. Of course, you shouldn't screw over your customer base, the people that really funded a lot of the game, right? I think that's something that really needs to be thought through, and I think they've realized that and see the value in their community as much as they haven't communicated that or expressed that in the past, right? It did seem like Nick really, I appreciated the way that he started that AMA by acknowledging that, like that's where the first AMA should have started, right? Acknowledging the value of the community, acknowledging what everybody has put into this game, blood, sweat, tears, money, right? That was kind of missing from the first AMA. So I do appreciate that he started from there. Kevin, is
Diamonds is going in. Just signed it, so 90 seconds or so. It should pop for those who want. If not, we'll take them at the end of the stream internally.
So Dan, honestly, I don't know the first thing about building a game. I have no idea. You tell me, Kevin. Do you have any idea why it would take a year to build a 4,300 ecosystem game?
I know Dan was on staff. It'd be done in a quarter of the time. So,
I mean, it sounds like right. They have a good chunk of it built, and it shouldn't be a full like it should be right in the next 4 months that this closed beta launches, which hopefully it's not in beta like Zed for 3 years, right? Hopefully it's legitimate. Like, hey, here's a month. Give us all the feedback that you can. We're really going to take it to heart, make some tweaks, and then launch it, right? Hopefully that's what it is. But I don't know, man. I'm going to Nepal for 6 months. Like, I'm out of here.
It's good timing on your part. Yeah, this would absolutely be an issue if that's the case. I'm under the impression that they will do some cleaning house and will bring in new developers / people on the inside who will be a little more effective or better managed. So if not, yeah, big issue. And part of the reason I'm super non-committal on Zed X and up in the air, like fool me once, fool me twice, but you're not going to fool me a third time, Zed.
Yeah, so I guess here's my take on Zed X, Kevin. You answered whether you'd be playing, we'd be playing. I think the answer is really the way that you and I approach everything, right? It's adaptation, like being flexible. Right now, probably not. We'll take what we get, right? And we'll work hard to get what we can and get a starting position and then play with that. Like it's not going to be, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a super time intensive game. Maybe we sell it off if we feel that there's a good opportunity to sell, if it gets hyped or whatever. But also if it seems like they're building something really cool with potential and there's more to it than we see right now, which is possible, right? And it becomes clear they have a whole new team and they're able to execute all the things that they haven't been able to do in the past, then of course we're going to be flexible and shift and potentially be willing to invest in it. But right now, everything that you said, right? It's just we need to be water, as Soul says, right?
Yeah, be water. Absolutely. Soul's very wise. Yeah, so I don't know. We will see, but based on what I know right now, it would be a no.
Oh, here's a good question, Kevin. Dan's bringing the good questions. We appreciate it, Dan. Thank you.
User buying horses losing break race fees to get Zed X. DC as a play stable. I mean, that's kind of you're banking pretty heavily on Zed X being a thing and being successful. You're basically like buying equity in that or using that as overlay to make negative ROI decisions here. But also, like, hey, if you're having fun doing it, that's great too. It can't hurt, I guess. Like if you're playing the game as I'm gonna have fun over the next 6 months, it's just an added benefit to doing that. So it can't hurt, but it's definitely a bet on Zed X, which you could have 10 horses, and if nothing's happening over there, they're worthless. Or it could blow up somehow, and that'd be a great investment.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to doing something like this after we know what the actual rewards are, right? I looked through the market and I thought that there were some decent values on like leveled horses, since level is a piece of the puzzle. They're not profitable, right? But just people dumping them, right? Whether they've been aged and leveled quite a bit and like legendary Nakamoto's or something like that. Like if you see a super cheap horse for $4,
right?
Why not? I think that that's a fine kind of angle to go at it. But yeah, we're not going to be spending our limited time, right, leveling unprofitable horses or entering free races. But I do think that that's an angle for some people, like zero cost, right? If you've got the horses already, why not run some free races and level them up, assuming that there actually is value in that. We don't know the formula yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's find out on August 31st before wasting any time or money. And then even then, right, you don't know that these Zed X horses are going to have value. Hopefully they're able to hype it and bring new people in and actually advertise this and continue to make partnerships. But it's all very unknown and, again, speculative, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll find out on the 31st. That's going to be big. I mean, there will definitely be buying opportunities that come out of that. Anytime
July 31st. Did you say August, Kevin? It's July 31st. So like 2 weeks from now, we shouldn't, a little over 2 weeks.
Meant to say July. Yeah, so that's not very long away, like far away. So I would just see if you want to, I don't know, have any. It could go both ways, right? Like if you have some of those bot bids on OpenSea and they are on a legendary that is a donkey and they're not going to be compensated, just hit the accept, or be on the buy side if there's some like mispriced item for sure. So that'll be exciting. And then it sounds like diamonds sold out pretty quickly, so that'll be good. Do we want to start cooking up a Griffin for anybody who wants to run that?
Yeah, let's do it. So Useless Present said if running freeze to increase level is valued that heavily in the formula, then the formula is wrong.
Agreed.
Can't disagree with that.
Absolutely. So that's maybe not going to count for engagement, but it will help level a horse if that's a metric. Very, very slowly.
Horse level is a metric, but to be determined what that's worth, right? I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time. Maybe we do one more stream once the formula's out. If we can find an hour, Kevin, and just kind of go through it. But did you want to find the Griffin? Then I got a question for you.
Yeah, I'm doing this all on mobile.
Okay. So here's, I guess, my take on what the new game is, right? It's from everything BG has said, and BG has a way with finding information through his sources over at Zed or wherever the hell he finds it. Sometimes it seems like he's just able to find it in their code, right? But it sounds like Sportsbet, and Nick kind of confirmed this on his AMA, right? Sportsbet has been very successful. And actually, you said when we were chatting about this, like if that's true, and it's almost worse, right? That we as the horse owners, a lot of people investing a shit ton of money in Zed aren't getting any of that. That makes it even worse, right? But then, I said to you, well, it was probably a poorly negotiated deal, or maybe just a test deal, and maybe they're not actually getting anything from Sportsbet right now, and maybe that's why they're building the new game, is to renegotiate this deal so they get a piece of the pie, however much Sportsbet is bringing in from these Zed races. But I told you I was over in Shanghai, and I talked to a guy from Ireland, and he told me digital horse race gambling is huge there, which I was just like, what?
That was shocking to me. Makes sense, I guess, but I would not expect it.
Degenerate gamblers, and you're on Sportsbet all the time, and you see something pop up, and you can get that immediate rush. Like it pops up, and 3 minutes later, the race runs, and you dig into it, and it's provably fair, right? And there's actually people, it's esports and gaming, right? I guess I can see that addictive nature and people really gambling on it. And if that is the case, then it really does make sense to gear the game towards that. Unfortunate that they felt that they had to build a whole new game to do that and get rid of all of our horse value that we've all accumulated. But so that's kind of the angle that I see them coming from. And then from that, it makes sense to control the horse population, start out with a lower number, and then also structure it in a way where they know there's going to be consistent races running every 2 minutes, right? That's a stable business model. This is not what we all bought into, right? From a Web3 perspective, owning the horses, like they're building a business for VHS, which, I think that's always been the issue with combining traditional business and the idealism of Web3 that we all kind of hoped this would turn into, right?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I was naming horses and just letting you just go.
Do we have a Griffin?
We don't have one yet. So here's my dilemma right now. There's an 18 that fits great for the Diamonds Breeze you just bred, but it's 4 of 6. Actually, nope, it just filled, so that solves that. So do we want to do the 1200 that's 1 of 6, or the 26 that's 0 of 6? I think we have a horse for either. And then the winner of this, will get one of the UUUs we have already bred. I think it's an elite from Pretty Good Blood.
Should I
1200 or 26?
Should I just pick one? Should I just say it?
I was going to let the audience.
You have to let the audience?
Decide. We'll give them 30 seconds.
Okay, so a good question here from Dan on what I was stream of consciousness ranting about there when you weren't paying attention, Kevin. Why do they need us to run horses on auto for this business model? I think on one hand, right, Nick kind of addressed that on his AMA, right? Like there's a difference between Zed and VHS just having these horses and running them versus people with an actual stake in it, doing some sort of activities and managing their horses in stables. theoretically, it sounds like we're going to have some sort of impact, whether it's data analysis and figuring out how to tweak your horse or whatever these aspects are that they're talking about, player agency. So I mean, I buy that, right? And then I think another aspect is trying to do right by your community that you've totally bent over, right? It's just
Right.
not a good. My take is that these guys came in and they do want to do right, but they've been put in an absolute no-win situation, right? And that's tough. So trying their best to reward the community and build something for them. I mean, like, you're not going to leave Zed running and then build something else that actually makes sense as a business model and then just have both. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like 1,200 is the vote. A lot of votes came in. So here's a link. Paste it in chat. I'm gonna join Conky Marajo. You can guess where that's from. Into it. And then, Donkey, if you want to share your screen and stream it, we could do that probably in 5 minutes or so if it fills.
Let me see if I can remember how to do that. Zed.
Anytime we go live, I'm like just always reminded and impressed with like if there was anything, any kind of organized engagement, like these races fill so quickly, and like there's I don't know if the passion is still there, which is so frustrating. At least with those of us that are left, that it's just there's just such poor leadership in the old Zed that let all this go to waste. That there was just not like why wasn't there like a weekly Friday Zed event where you could just come hang out and race? Soapbox over. Looks like we filled.
A lot of that going on here.
That filled. There you go. You got it up.
I see the 2,200. Maybe let's see. Hey, did those? Here it is. Did those grand final races ever run?
They ran and they didn't count. I don't know. I have not seen them. There were so many. I think we would see them if they were happening.
I'm rooting for McGinnis's horse Nepalese Meditation here. Is E5. Mango Ice is in there with Stream Catcher. We've got Arbitrage with Conky Marajo in Gate 2. Stolen Engagement by Kaiju.
Kaiju's been doing a bunch of engagement. I like that. All of his. I thought it was like a terms breed the first couple times he did it, but it makes sense.
We've got. I pronounced that one for me, Kevin. Omicronian Kiss.
There you go. Yep.
Omicronian Kiss, and then that's for 4 Plumper Stables, and then Angry Dude Bro 1214 for Why Not Remove Rake, which I'm sure that's RJ. So good luck, everyone. We got a minute and a half. Let me share this tab instead. Let's wait. Let's wait until it actually pops up. So, Kevin, do we have any other good questions in the chat? Any comments? Oh, should we end this raffle?
Yeah.
We got 55 in the raffle. So, yes, let me close it, and then we'll start.
It's everyone.
Exogenesis 7, congrats. You've won our 3rd giveaway. Okay, number 4, we'll do a short time on this for subscriber raffle number 4.
Okay. So we'll do that. We'll have the giveaway winner of this race, and then we'll have a public one.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate, we're not trying to get anybody to subscribe here. I hope nobody subscribes, and if you do, make sure you cancel it right after. But yeah, we're probably not doing any more streams for a while after this. Maybe we do one more to go over the rewards. We'll see.
Yeah, you may not even want to ever stream again after your meditation. You might just be a changed man who doesn't like video game horses.
I already don't like computers, so that wouldn't be that far of a leap from here.
Okay, fair enough.
So where are we at, Kevin? Should I get the race up?
Yeah, 10 seconds. If there's any other questions you guys want answered or want us to talk about after the race, you can do that.
Feel free.
I think we were planning this to be about an hour anyways, just kind of short and sweet, get the game back together, but we can go a little longer if people want.
Does the winner of this race get a horse, or?
Yes. If it's us, we'll just add another giveaway to the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have bet on this wager race.
Yeah, we should. But that just complicates things.
Yeah, that's a whole other element.
It's hard to figure out all this stuff, especially we're out of practice. We're rusty.
Try to refresh. No, never mind.
Here it goes. Can you hear like the Zed
yeah.
audio? I'll
I'm
mute
in
it.
Yeah, we're good. Does anybody enjoy these sound effects? Why is that the default?
There we go. I love the hoofs.
I like that in the random neighs, but like the music in the background just an extra click every single time I watch a race.
It was a novel idea, the futuristic. I'm interested to see the actual graphics and stuff of Zed X that we've been waiting for 2 years since.
Didn't they have like a trailer come out 2 years ago?
When we were in New York, yeah.
It made it seem like it was coming out like later that year. It was,
yeah. What a tease. Who's
Well,
that?
no
Omicron Kiss. Omicronian Kiss.
I don't remember what lane our horse is in. First or last? That's all I want.
We're this one.
Okay, first or last. Looks like a last. That's a good run from whoever's in first right now.
Omicronian Kiss for 4 plumpers.
Yeah, that's nice.
This guy's
We're not going to get our last either. Oh, we got a donkey.
Which is, 60% chance you're getting a donkey. Maybe 80% chance you're getting a donkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, congrats to 4 plumpers and Omicronian Kiss. You've won a horse.
Payday.
Hit me up on Twitter. I think that's the easiest place. I don't know. I always get confused by my Twitter. Like people say they can't DM me, but I've got them open. So you can just comment on our Twitter post and I'll get a hold of you, or find us on Discord or wherever. Tag us in general on Discord. We'll make sure you get the horse. All right. So where are we at now, Kevin? I'll end the raffle for the subscribers. All 6 of them have signed up. So
yep, perfect.
Close that. Pick winner. Major Pivot. Congrats.
Oh,
another horse for Major Pivot.
Long time.
Good to have you back.
Frequent winner. I think he's hacked our systems, and his number comes up quite often. A lot of engagement.
Okay, raffle number 5 is going. We got this raffle and then one more for the subscribers. The 6 of you subscribers. Probably should have done that one first.
The 6th place horse in that Griffin from Mango Ice was level 1. So congrats for that, Mango Ice. That is just as hard to do as a 600, maybe even harder.
Do we have any comments in here? Any questions? Anybody? This will be a sad day when we run our last race. I mean, maybe we just keep one Zed X horse out there forever, just posterity.
Hey, it's going to be totally passive. We might as well just keep the name on the track.
You mean you don't like the random beeps? Okay. Anything else? So, Kevin, Zed X. Did you hear any of my thoughts on Zed X? Like, it does seem like sports bet is a huge part of that. And if sports bet takes off and there's a ton of revenue coming in, and that a decent chunk of that is being funneled to the horse owners, as it should be in the spirit of Web3, right? Then maybe there's legs for Zed X horse ownership, right? But as it stands, doesn't seem like there's a huge path to profitability. Maybe prestige if they can build it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like their system is going to work kind of ELO based, where you basically get more points as you win, and then you're racing against horses of similar rating. I'll be curious because it sounds like there's some skill where, like, if you are the jockey or whatever of a horse, you can learn what they're good at and make adjustments that improve your odds. I'll be wondering if, does that get factored into the odds on sports bet or whoever's betting on this? Because I mean, if it's a material difference in outcome, a sharp would be seeing all right, who owns that horse, and the odds would adjust, or you would be having a better chance than the odds would indicate. So that'll be interesting. I don't know how that's going to tie, but I don't know. Are we still not going to be able to bet on our horses too? Like if you have a horse in Zed X,
depends if you're geo blocked or not, right?
People in Europe, right? Could you do it? I thought. There's a
Oh
rule you
yeah,
cannot,
there's something in the terms, right? You're not allowed to bet on your own horse. Hmm.
which is not that fun. But
I'm sure
um,
this not really provable, right?
Juno, we've kind of been talking about this for a while. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough to make a sound decision
Yeah.
here,
I
but
mean,
I'm not like going to go out of my way to play the game as of what I know right now.
right, we don't know enough. I think our like uncensored thoughts are probably along the lines of it makes sense, right? If you're somebody coming in now trying to make this business succeed that's been floundering around really for the past 2.5, 3 years, right? And you've got just this mess of a team that doesn't work well together, not able to develop things, as Dan has pointed out, in any sort of efficient time, just like it probably makes sense to just scrap it and start over. Just it needs to be done very, very carefully and communicated very, very carefully. And, you really want to come at it from a point of view where, yeah, we get that you guys have been here for 3 years. You've supported the game. A lot of you have put so much time and energy into content creation, tools creation, all of this stuff, been in Discord, hours and hours with the community and working with the team and trying any way that you can to support it because you love the game, right? And you've invested a lot of money too, right? All of these resources and stuff. And we're going to try our best. That's what needs to be communicated first and foremost, right?
Mhm.
From the start of that first AMA. That should have been a 10-minute, spiel and like heartfelt, like we get it. We're gonna try to reward you guys, and everything is going to go to you. All of the horses, which sounds like they came to anyway, I think, right? It's just that's where it should have started, and the thought should have been put in to here's what the rewards are going to look like. It shouldn't have been like we don't know and it'll probably be horses, right? It should have been like all the horses are going to you guys. We just need to determine the fairest way to distribute them, and this was the best path that we saw forward, right? So I think that was really unfortunate that they didn't approach it from that way and didn't really connect with the community. They've tried to kind of turn it around since then, it seems, but yeah, long ways to go to regain the trust, right?
Yeah, I mean, and my buddy Crush on Discord reached out. I think it was earlier today. He brought up a good point where he was one of the OGs who kind of minted way back when, and has since gotten out of the game. Doesn't really have any horses. Didn't sell near the top, but just didn't like the way the game went. So would not be compensated at all in the new game. And he was worried that they're going to be giving away all 4,320 horses to current users, and didn't know where he would like fit into the new game right away. Um, is that your interpretation? I guess first off, they're giving away all race horses to start to existing Zed players. Is that right?
And breeding horses, I mean, maybe they save some of them and try to use them for prizes or some sort of hype or something like that, right? But that is my interpretation. Yeah. And I wouldn't say just existing users, right? We need to see the formula, right? Like if you own 50 Genesis horses, that probably guarantees you a spot on the leaderboard. I don't know if that's two horses or one horse or five horse. Like, I don't know, right? You seem to think it's probably on the lower side, right? But um, yeah, there's going to be some interesting game theory, and it could be fun if they do what Nick said, right, and try to use live ops and these rewards points to incentivize people to run more. Like, there could be fun, like, but as with everything in Zed, right, it's like we're not going to hold our breath, right? You got to prove it,
And
and
do we
we
like?
haven't yet.
Are we gonna have to go to like Zedge to have a leaderboard, like a live leaderboard of engagement, or is it gonna be on site? Like that's stuff like that. I just don't understand how that is still a thing. 3.5. Like shout out to Zedge for doing it. You're like saving the game in and of itself. But
And
how is there
Dan,
not?
I mean Dan stuff on Z Lead,
Yeah, but like for leaderboards and stuff, like how is a grand final leaderboard not on the Zed site yet? Like I just, sorry, getting
Well,
off a
because
tangent again.
none of their resources are going towards that, right? They're all going
Yes,
to Zed X,
they had
which
3 years before of dedicated resources to
right,
do
sure.
something so simple that like a third party not getting paid anything to do this was able to spin up like multiple times. I don't get it. Sorry for that.
So anyway, back to a couple of comments and questions. Being paid in prestige, it is somewhat laughable, but then you look at real life horse racing, and that's a thing, and that's been built, of course, over 100 years, right? The prestige of I mean, yes, of course, even just going to the Kentucky Derby, that's prestige. And people spend a ton of money to do that. And the horse may never win a dime, right? But just getting there, that prestige is enough for these billionaires, right? So that is an angle to build something from, but it's very difficult to execute, of course. Mango Ice wanted to know our advice for a new player trying to start in Zed Run. I absolutely would not. No way. Why would you start in Zed Run right now? It's too confusing. Every reason that they're building the new game is the reason that you shouldn't start in Zed Run, right? If you're already committed and already understand the game, sure, play it, right? And if you find it fun, right? Or if you're trying to get some value out of your horses because you can't sell them for anything right now, sure, play it and do what you will and try to get some Zed X horses.
What I
And
would
then if
say
you
there
like
is
that,
like, I will say, keep an eye out if there becomes a scenario where it's actually positive EV again, meaning like right now it's self-funded from the rake, but if they start overlaying a guaranteed prize pool for a maiden, for example, and all breeds, the cost of it only totals like 30K, the example I gave earlier, and they're offering 40K, if you have a friend who can like handhold you through the complexities, that is a decent economic scenario to have a breed, have your positive EV in the maiden, and then if it actually can run paid, do that. If you just enjoy watching virtual horse races, do freeze for entertainment. So if it becomes that positive scenario, I could see it being an okay time to get handheld by a friend.
And there's a lot of scenarios. I mean, you know how easily and quickly hype can build in this space if it's done right. And if this team is legit and they are able to build a cool game and the graphics are awesome and it's well thought out, these ZX horses could have real value. But certainly not financial advice, and we're not holding our breath on that until you have to prove it, right? Because it's 3 years worth of data to say against that, right? So not hating on them, but that they've got a huge track record going against them. Not necessarily their fault, but they have put themselves in this position. So
That's the balance, right? It's like I would not want to be in their position, but like I also can't really hold past ineffectiveness against at least like near and the new hires. And maybe if I had known the information they have, like I can't really fault the path they've gone down either. But they also cannot be like ignorant to the fact that there's a lot of scar tissue and they don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore after all the strikes that we've gotten from Zed.
So Kevin Ricky wants to know how long you think Zed Run will last. Are you sticking to July 1st as your date?
Yeah, and if we're saying non-X run, I'll say that's a good over/under. If I had to guess, I think I would take like just under. I'd say like May 1st. My fear is still once again like a lot of scar tissue. It starts to drag on the development side. It goes past like call it March of 2025, and they just turn off Zed because they don't want to be self-funding anymore. Maybe the treasury runs out, and then there's like a dark period for a couple months waiting for it to come up. I hope that's not the case. They've said that's not the case. They said it's going to be basically running up until they're out of beta with Zed X. So I would say call it like Masters Week, mid-April for my like actual guess, but over under I'd say mid-July or July 1st.
Yeah, so I was going to say right around the time that I'm getting back from my 6-month retreat, mid-March. So I'll say March 15th. So honestly, that was before you said April. So that's where I was thinking. So it seems like we're in the right similar time range, same kind of page.
If that's the case, that's a good runway for breeding into the new game right now. If you ignore all the stuff that happened prior that rugged everyone, like the actual game right now, if you're breeding a horse at $30, $40, and you have these maidens that are guaranteed, that's a good runway. At least we know, like, okay, there's some guaranteed life for the next 6 months. It's more than we've had in the past, like I've been saying.
That's what I was saying off the top, which maybe came across the wrong way, and you said nobody should clip it, but it really is not the worst coming from the point of view of somebody that's been in this game every day for the past 2 years, seeing the writing on the wall that like this is not going in the right direction. Just the fact that our horses are going to have some value for probably 9 months, maybe more, was kind of a positive. Yes, terrible negative that we've got all these Genesis horses that were once worth a lot of money. We could have sold them for a lot of money that are really not worth anything, and they're never. I mean, I don't want to say anything, right? But maybe $100 each, maybe $200 each. I mean, what would you sell Ready Set Boom for today?
Oh gosh. Man. I mean,
I think there's some sentimental value, but if somebody offered, let's say, 1 ETH,
no, I'd hold for that.
there's breeding value too.
Um,
2 ETH,
five would be gone.
5 ETH,
Yeah. So somewhere in that range.
nothing
But
less than
one, I think
5.
I would have. You can't buy me
Send
that
your
cheap.
offers.
But for 5, he's yours.
I think if the 5 came through, it would be tough, and we would have to talk to Trippy about it because it's his baby, right? And he might just be
Right.
like, "I'm taking it for 5."
Yeah. Yeah. Good question.
Okay, here's another
day.
question. Oh, we'll keep going here for maybe we got to end this raffle and do one more, but we'll keep going here for another 10 minutes. I'm having fun. Question for you: how long will Zed X last?
That's where it's interesting. I think people take for granted like actually how good of a run like OGZ had if it makes even like now, but a 4-year runway if it gets to ZX, that's I mean I don't know all of the Web3 games, but even just games in general, having a 4-year run and like being relevant for that long is not that easy to do. So I mean, I'd be shocked if ZX had that kind of run, but it seems like they're bound and determined to try to make it work. I don't know. What do you say? 18 months, maybe over under for that from the start. Would you take the over?
I'd take the over. Yeah, I mean, it seems like why wouldn't it run for a long time? You don't have to do anything, right? Like, why wouldn't they just continue to let it run? They don't need anybody to play the game, right? If
Yeah.
people are betting
What
on
is
it.
like? What is the end date? Is it just like the game no longer exists? Not at all, or like I don't know. I think
You're talking about
relevance and like
ZX.
yeah, ZX like Sunset to me is different than like not a relevant game anymore.
Yeah, I was just thinking it still exists.
Yeah, probably longer. They can keep the lights on pretty cheap, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I would put the over under at 18 months in terms of like relevance or any optimism at all.
That's pretty bleak. That is a pretty bleak over under for ZX.
It's still. I mean,
It's
9 months
realist,
from
that is.
now, 18 months from there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this Zed would have made it that long, right? So,
No,
like,
I
do you think
agree.
this Zed would have made it 27 months?
Yeah, maybe it still would have existed, but it'd be like 20 people playing it, right? That kind
Yeah,
of
I just
thing.
don't know if ZX is going to provide that kind of shot in the arm. Maybe it will. I mean, I'm setting a line to be 50% on either side, so it definitely could. But it also definitely couldn't.
Yeah, I've been fooled before, so obviously take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I really Near does seem to have quite the track record. I don't know. These guys seem legit. I like Facundo too, but he had a lot working against him, and he was working against the founders too. It seemed, but hey, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Bitstud, they don't care about users. I would disagree. I think these guys are smart enough. Out of sheer self-interest, they care. You can't launch ZX into this abyss of negativity. So, sheer self-interest, I think they care. And I mean, just as a human being, like I think I give people the benefit of the doubt that they care to some degree. So, my take there. I don't know if you have anything on that, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certain users that are very like disconnected that they probably aren't thinking about as much, and I think that could definitely be perceived as not caring. I also think there's types of users that suit their best interests to like keep on board and keep the hype up, and they care about those. So I'm
Sure.
sure there's pockets that they don't care about because they're not
Right, people that aren't contributing anything and just extracting
I mean, the
completely,
Nakamoto's
right?
only thing was a perfect example where they had not contemplated that type of question or that type of negative impact on the original user base, or else it would have been contemplated in some. They would have had a better answer for that. So, yeah, I think forgetting or not caring by like omitting or forgetting about a pocket is a little different than like malicious omission. But either way, it feels like you're kind of not getting cared about.
Any other questions or comments here to highlight? Kevin, McGinnis is Diamond's breed isn't too bad, 16-1
Oh, nice.
against Beasts. Okay, that's a Class 2 Open.
Some questions here. Let's see. I have no idea here. Somebody.
It sounded like they're probably going to change, but yeah, we're not educated enough on alternate chain options. I mean, maybe they go to Solana, right? I have no idea.
That would be something, wouldn't it? Um, Jonan is skeptical, as you would probably guess. not a surprising sentiment there. Can't say I blame him. We still need breed catalysts coming back to appease Jonan. Let's see. Yeah, Facundo was not always the most polished. I'll give you that stuff.
I think he just didn't give a shit. At some point, he's like,
it's clear with some of the changes he made. But yeah, I think they see the target market being on the passive wagering side because they know that's ultimately how you get away from this zero-sum game that we've fallen into, and I think ultimately has been kind of the demise of the current Zed.
Kevin, you want to throw Festus in for the viewers? Festus.
Oh, Festice. I thought it was just
I
a
don't think
typo.
I don't think we're gonna breed Festice this cycle, just because so many breeds and class 4 becomes a grind. But he definitely is going to be breed some beasts. I mean, it probably would be best for us not to put him in because then we're gonna have to see these horses once they level out of class 4.
True. Yeah, I'll throw him in. Let's
Okay.
see. We are in a race though.
Hmm.
Is there a way to get around that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
on mobile though.
on mobile, no. Let me see if I can. We've bred Festus before, so it's a little trickier. But yeah, if people don't know, there is a hack to put horses into stud while they're in a race, but it's a little bit tricky. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to. We'll put them in after. Keep an eye out. GG's. We could put somebody else in. Any other ideas?
I'll take requests. What do you guys want to see? If we haven't bred it already, I think we're pretty much we're 95% or so of the way done with our breeding, right? We just have 2 or 3 more. So I mean, if you guys want to see something, we can throw it in, or just shoot us a DM.
How about
Y2K?
We put Y2K in, sure. Ducky in a storm.
Is Y2K decayed yet? Y2 decayed?
Might not be. Let me look. I don't think it is. I think we saved some. Y2K.
We're so dumb for doing that.
No, it worked out really well with Ray.
It did work out for Ray Del Mundo. That's very true.
Y2K is not
3
decay.
left.
3 left. Final 3 before decay. Wow, but he's in a race too.
We'll do that tonight as well, maybe, and we can take maybe 1 for old time's sake and let 2 go wild.
Ducky in a storm?
Sure.
All right. I'll put Ducky in a storm right now at minimum. Good luck, everyone. This is an exclusive, really good class 2 exclusive that we've leveled up into class 1. All right. Signing right now. Sprinter, by the way. 1,200 best, Kevin? Or 1,000?
1,000.
1,000.
It's
okay.
Really good. It's fun. It won one of the big. I don't think it was open. It might have been the less than 250 class 1 race or class 1 tournament last week. It was nice to see.
Okay, I signed it. So Ducky in a storm is in stud at minimum. Good luck to you. Would we participate in beta? Well, I'm going to be in Nepal, so no. Kevin, I assume you would, right?
I don't know. I'd be kind of conflicted. TBD. It depends on the investment, mainly time-wise.
Yeah, I assume for beta, there's probably not going to be any financial investment, right?
No, but I wouldn't want to have I don't know. Time is at a premium at the moment.
Tasty Poison thinks, he's taking the over on your July 1st line. He thinks end of 2025. Definitely a possibility, right? But that would be a bad sign for Zed X to start like that.
So he's probably taking the under on my 18 months for Zed X and the over July 1st for traditional Zed.
Seeing if there's any other comments. I think you already scanned through most of these.
Do you think, honest question, do you think they want us playing Zed X?
Like us as arbitrage or just us as users? Arbitrage?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I think from a gambling perspective, it's good to have like a villain or a top stable or a few top stables, right? Like a Southern Farm, Iceberg, an arbitrage. This is my stable that I bet on or bet against, right? Like I think that kind of esports aspect that they're kind of working towards. I think that they do want some bit of that,
Notoriety. Yeah.
yeah, camaraderie. I don't know, but just my take.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think I'm too close to it to have an opinion, but it feels like, I mean, I'm sure we were a reason why like they want to clean slate everything. Like it's not a healthy ecosystem at all right now. It sounds like the way they're designing the new one is going to be a little more evenly spread out. Um, so maybe it doesn't even matter.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
No, so we're throwing a couple more breeds in tonight. Just be on the lookout. Fest Dice and Y2K.
Y2K. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you
I
know,
feel like we're viewed as like a sunshine pumper because we are, I don't know, have done pretty well in this game. So I don't know if like, I don't know, I guess we have like a loyal following. Maybe that people would add more credibility. But I think for a lot of the people like OGs, they wouldn't think we would ever say anything negative about Zed. So they would just be like, oh, well, of course they're saying that.
yeah, I mean, whatever. People say what they say, especially on social media. You know, we did try. I especially tried, right? I did this like ambassador role and tried to help with communications and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, it didn't go well. Which, you know, maybe it wasn't a great idea in the first place, right? Being part of the largest stable, but whatever. You know, it's just, there's no win situation here for anybody. So Kevin, let me end this raffle. You got any other comments?
We got one more question from Ricky. Did you guys break even with your horse purchases, even if Zed Run goes under? Like all time? I mean, I would say definitively yes. There's certainly horses we've just kind of ate our shoe with. But yeah, I mean, I came into Zed with 3 Ethereum, so we've cleared that.
Yeah, we've done well. There's no two ways about it. And we've tried our best to support the game and give back where we could, but you know, we've always been self-interested in these shows, and we've never hidden that. So, yeah, and people criticize us, but we never hid. Like we tried to build Zed because it's good for us, and we enjoy the game, and we like the community and stuff, right? But it was always we never would have done it if it was just if we were losing money all the time, right?
Yeah, for sure. We don't enjoy like torturing ourselves, but yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
fun. It's fun.
sometimes.
It's true in different ways. But I think like yeah, these are like definitively fun. I mean, I'm for sure gonna miss these types of streams. Never ever had even been on Twitch before Zed, so a whole like alter ego has spun off since then. The wife has been like surprisingly fluid with the whole situation. I'm surprised she's been as accommodating as she has. I know yours is just naturally accommodating, even just letting you go to Nepal for 6 months. But it's so funny. Like I'm gonna miss the chats at the holidays, right? Where you're like, oh, so tell me about that digital horse stable. So I have to break the news to them, at least for Zed. So not looking forward to Thanksgiving 2020.
You find a new grift.
There you go. Look at my Rainmakers team. Look at this Sam Houston State. I've won back to back national championships with an NCAA 25.
Oh, that'll be a sad day. Okay, I'm going to end this raffle. Close entries, pick winner. Spartan Racing. Congrats.
Spartan.
And then let's do our last one for subscribers. If any of you guys are left, just real quick. Anything else, guys? It's 8:51. Kevin's got to go let the baby suckle on his teat.
I think of Meet the Fockers when you do that. Remember the little contraption they had? Like the bottle goes up through his like, he puts it on his man boob. It's so funny. Classic move.
Okay,
So
I think we hit everything.
Yeah, so this will probably be it, at least until see what's left standing in 7 months when you get back. If there's enough like to talk about after 7:31, after they announce the incentives, maybe we'll pull up for 30 minutes. I like the live ones better now. I don't get any enjoyment of just like, no offense, Donkey, meeting one-on-one and chatting and posting on YouTube and reading comments. I like the engagement back and forth. So maybe I'd say there's a very small window between 7:31 and when you leave. So possibly you see us then, but no guarantees.
Yeah, and we've talked about doing a Rainmaker show before, so maybe after I get back, we'll start up a Rainmaker show, or who knows? There's the pipe dream of a Zed X show or something like that, but we'll see how it all shakes out. It was nice knowing you all as well. Seriously, we've had a lot of fun, and we couldn't have done any of this without you guys. So we appreciate y'all. Yes, this one is for subscribers only. This is our last one for the people that maybe were accidentally subscribing. We got 60 out there. I'm going to close. Sorry,
We
go
did
ahead.
three open and 3 subscriber, right?
Three open, 3 subscriber, and then we gave away the one to the Griffin winner. So 7 horses total. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Close. Oh, we got a 7th subscriber jumped in here too. Useless present maybe. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Closing
Will you
it.
be coming back as a monk? People are asking.
I kind of already am one. Gigi's one. Congrats, Gigi's. Unofficially, yeah. Modern day monk, I would say.
All right.
All right. We did have a good run. All right.
Enjoyed it.
Congrats, Gigi's. All right, Kevin. Anything else?
No, I'm good. Like we were saying, if you've been subscribing this whole time and paying your hard-earned money, let us know, because I know we haven't been doing much last few months. Reach out, we'll get you a breed, and then don't forget to stop your subscriptions. We don't want to continue to have that funneling in, since we won't be as active on here.
Gigi's won it. Okay, take it easy, guys. Kevin, say hi to the wife and baby. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you guys
later, everyone.